Hi everyone, this is Jack R, Raconter1, and I'm videoing this to let you know we've got to the point of 2,800 videos. So I'm very proud of that, and it's a testimony to my viewers too that you have that much interest in what I do. I have reached now the point of 4,028 subscribers and 5,800,000 views, so that's a lot. And I have a lot of videos to go too, so there are more to come, and I intend to continue. So, and still more car shows to go to, and I still have plenty of videos that I haven't put up yet. So that there's plenty of videos in store, and I want to really thank my subscribers for their not only for their comments but for their continuing views of my videos. And I certainly am indebted to them for adding their bits and pieces to it. And some of them have owned those cars, so they are very well aware of those cars. They also have added interest about the history of those cars that they owned. So that really makes the channel worthwhile. And while I'm at it, I thought I might add a few bits and pieces about my '88 Mustang. I look back in the literature that I always save everything that I have ever done to the car. And I looked at when I bought it. It's 19 years ago. In December, it'll be 19 years. It's hard to believe that it's been this long. And really, it's been pretty trouble-free. Only a couple repairs, and the chief repair was soon after I got it. It worked fine when I got it. It had approximately 59,000 miles on it when I got it, and now has 108,000. And not too long after I got it, I noticed suddenly the transmission was acting funny. It was slipping. And so I took it back to the dealer and found out that it was, yes, in fact, the there's a cable that there's a kickdown cable for that transmission. It's 4-speed automatic overdrive, and it there's an end, the plastic end to it. The plastic end disintegrated, and so now the cable is hung up and caused the transmission to get confused and didn't know what gear to be in, and that's what did the transmission in just a few short miles. So at my expense, I got a rebuilt transmission from the from a company that remanufactures them for Ford. They put it in, and I got it home. And then the next day, I went to take it on a small trip, and backed it out of the garage and found out there was a big puddle of transmission fluid. Turns out that the transmission they had put in was defective. They checked it out, and the tolerances weren't right, and evidently some seals were leaking, and they had to replace it with another example of the rebuilt transmission from the same place. And they did. They did that. In the meantime, they gave me a car to drive, no charge, and I never had any more problems with that transmission. They replaced the cable with one that had a brass end to it instead of a plastic one, which obviously should have been what was there in the first place. So that was a fairly major thing, but again, no problem with it since. The engine has never been apart, except for put a new water pump on it, a new timing chain at about 100,000 miles. It's had new exhaust manifold put on and new exhaust system with a new catalytic converter, and of course springs I mean springs, shocks, and let's see, what else? Springs weren't touched. Um, Oh, and the top is going to need replacement. It's getting frayed where it bends as it enters the back of the body. Uh, but it's not torn or anything. And the upholstery is going to have to be replaced at some point. But overall, it's been pretty trouble-free. My last repair was a miss in it. I had replaced the plugs and the wiring, and turns out that one of those new wires got too close to the exhaust manifold, and it burned the wire. So that's what was the cause of the miss. Replaced the wires and no problem. So it's been a good car. It's the 302. It's the 5.0 liter Mustang. Pretty trouble free. The EGR valve had to be replaced once too, but the heads were never off. It doesn't use oil, and it's good car. And I must say that the top works fine. One thing that I did have to replace uh, fairly often is again the power windows. I think I've replaced them all. The motors. Uh, the motors in the back two windows, the little windows, the motors didn't go, but the little gear inside did, and like little spacers and stuff. And I was able to buy that and replace that. I've gotten pretty good at replacing power window motors. And again, I buy them at a place where they're guaranteed for the life. So if there's any problem with them, I just take it back and they give me a new one. So yeah, it's been a good vehicle. And so again, I want to thank you for your viewership and your continued interest in my videos. And thank you again for all the kind words you have to say about the channel and my efforts. So uh, I hope to make many more videos. And again, on Saturday, I'm going down to Lakeland to go to another big time car show. In fact, I just put up the last of the videos from last year's Lakeland show. And so it takes me a while to get to all these videos, but I do put them up eventually. So thanks again.